Hey there, friends, and welcome to your Lucid Living Show, where you join and participate with us in our essential conversations with ordinary people achieving the extraordinary. The Lucid Living Show is brought to you and sponsored by the mindfulnessadvantage.com, and our wingman and producer today is Andy Brine of hangouttribes.com. Thank you for staying with us for the next hour. My featured guest today is friend, visionary partner, and collaborator Arttemis Keszainn, co-founder of the New Earth Center and New Earth Living Foods. Along with his beautiful wife and partner, Keszainn, Arttemis will be launching their newest endeavor, Blending for Beauty, in the next month or so. We'll be bringing Arttemis on in just a few moments after our opening segment, First Words. Welcome to mid-January, friends, a traditional time for imagining and creating new directions, commitments, and envisioning new and extraordinary outcomes. As a visionary and creative, you are and can be a force of nature. My featured guest, Arttemis Keszainn, and I are partnering here with you today to accomplish one primary goal and vision that we share: to inform and inspire you to achieve greatness and to become the magnificent maker you were meant to be. We invest altogether too much time attempting to hold the fire of our greater purpose at arm's length. You're here with us today because you're ready to simply and boldly stand in your heart's fire and the fire of your vision. You know, there's nothing like building a dream and vision of your own, a force and resource that unifies and gives your life and world a higher purpose and direction. Are you hungry and ready to rekindle your faith and fire and enthusiasm? Yes. Yes, you are. Join me then in welcoming our friend and featured guest, Mr. Arttemis Keszainn. Arttemis, thanks for joining us today in the program.
Thank you, George. I am lit up, excited, and on fire to share some of this content today, so thank you for having me.
Let's just, a side note, I think many people that know you know already, but just for Arttemis and his beautiful beloved wife are about to become parents. And so share a little bit, talk about building a vision. Since I've known you and Crystal since 2010, maybe, or a little earlier.
Yes.
Not shortly after Crystal started really visioning and talking about having a family and a child. So if you would just speak for a moment to, you're both standing on the doorstep of the fruition of your vision and dream to be parents.
Yes. My wife and I moved to Austin, Texas in late 2009 from the Tree of Life Rejuvenation Center, where we worked in Patagonia with Dr. Gabriel Cousins. So we came to Austin on fire with raw foods, superfoods, healthy lifestyle, juicing, juice cleansing, reversing diabetes naturally. And Crystal got about a year into our time here in Austin, she got the call to conceive a child, and we waited to grow our businesses. Because as many people know who are watching who have a business is just like your baby. So we launched New Earth Super Conscious Living and New Earth Living Foods, grew that business for 3 years, sold that business, and right before we sold the business, we consciously conceived our child. And the child brought a lot of focus and clarity to who we are and where we're going in our business now with Blending for Beauty and Green Living. So the child has been a great blessing. As many parents who are watching know, children bring a lot of love and abundance and blessing, and also focus and clarity of focus, because you're now 3 instead of 2, and you have the power of 3, or what's known as the Holy Trinity, supporting you in your manifestations. It was awesome. And the baby's coming very soon.
Yeah, congratulations. I imagine it's pretty wonderful to know that you have such an extended family of aunts and uncles out here in the Googleverse and elsewhere that are just holding the space of grace and ease in Crystal giving birth here in the next few days or even hours, perhaps.
Yeah, it's actually the next day. So like I'm in awe and humbled by how much love is poured from my local community and Google Plus. It's just amazing. I'm learning how to receive in a whole new way. Receive in a bigger, more expanded, the love, blessings, the money, the toys, the clothes, the gifts, the gift cards. It's like so much is pouring in. I'm like, okay, a blessing is now filling my cup and overflowing. So thank you, George, for your blessing.
Yeah, and when we stretch into a vision, feed it and give birth to it.
Literally.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to open with this. Is the idea and the experience of you and Crystal partnering to bring a new life into the world. Literally, when we have a great vision and dream, we're in an inner partnership and a relationship, one with ourselves and our hearts, and in that partnership we give birth to our vision. That's why you and I are here today. I'm hearing my voice in the background, so perhaps one of you can turn your volume down a little bit. Thank you. So in the context of having an ideation, a spark, germinating and fertilizing that idea and allowing it to gestate, to feed the idea, the vision, along the way we benefit greatly from doulas and midwives, as it were, and in the context of our conversation today, I really want to open our conversation initially into the value and the generative power of enrolling a coach and a mentor in a collaborative process that empowers us, one, to stay on purpose and on point, to effectively build and sustain the refinement of our vision, and to be held accountable. So dive in there, because you and I are both coaches, and we employ coaches and mentors to keep us in alignment with our highest outcomes as well.
Yes, in the past 3 years, I've tripled my personal income, and I've created and sold a business and created 2 new businesses. And in order to do that, I stay teachable and coachable. So it's really important as you define your vision, define your dream, and you go for the life of the entrepreneur, that you choose your mentors and coaches wisely. And it's who do you listen to? It's basically the principle to ask yourself, who do I listen to if I want to start a brick and mortar business or an online business or a coaching practice? Who do I listen to? And the answer to that question is you listen to people who have what you desire and have been where you currently are now in your life. So I would say over 80% of the people teaching online business or coaching practices or brick and mortar, they're not people to listen to because they haven't achieved super success and made enough mistakes. So you listen to people who have been in the trenches, started from scratch, built everything from the ground up, and now they're making 7 figures or more. Those are the people you listen to, and you really have to dig through the noise of the online space to find those titans, because they really stand up above the rest. And so it's really important you choose your mentoring and coaching. Now, a lot of people are thinking, do I have to pay for this? Well, there's a lot of free information on the internet, and these titans are also providing you lots of free coaching. So 4 years ago, I made a commitment. Read books every day, listen to audios every day, write my goals down, read my goals out loud. So you don't always have to go buy a coaching program or an expensive product. Start making a commitment to listen to the right people, plug into their free content, YouTube, podcast, and then what's most important is to be consistent by listening to the right audios and reading the correct books from the mentors who have what you desire and have been where you are. If you do those three things, your success is guaranteed.
Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate and step into the mind and curiosity of our viewers. And the first question that comes to mind is, how do I know what the right content is, especially because we live in such a world of massive distraction, and with social media, we can spread ourselves very thin. So why don't you approach that question from your own experience, and what resources or what processes did you use and utilize?
So the purpose of like videos, podcasts, books, and audios is to program ourselves for success. But we want to be really clear about not distracting, staying focused and listening to the right audios, the correct videos, and the books. Now, I've coached over 10,000 people in the past 15 years, and we have 3 levels of learning. We're visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. And so some people watching this video are going to be more visual. They're going to retain more information reading and writing notes. Some people are more auditory, and so they're going to learn better through audiobooks, and reading is going to be a challenge. And that's okay. Listen to more audios, read 1 page a day. That's what I tell people who are auditory dominant. Most people listening to this and watching this are probably auditory. Now, there's also the kinesthetic people, which learn by doing. And so holding the book, walking while you're listening to audios, incorporating physical kinesthetic activities as you learn is really good for kinesthetic dominant people. So we're visual, books, auditory, audios, podcast, and kinesthetic doing learners. And you're going to be strongest on one channel. I encourage you to explore all 3 channels.
Yeah, indeed.
And then open up the 2 that might be weak through repetition. So books and audios are the 2 primary formats. Like listening to this again, because I just gave you a lot of information, and you're going to want to hear it again. So when this recording is done, listen to this again. Learn what your dominant channel is. Are you a visual learner, or are you a more auditory learner, or are you more kinesthetic? Now, I am kinesthetic, visual, auditory. My auditory channel used to be my weakest channel, where I literally did not hear people very well. And I had so much internal dialogue and distraction that I just wouldn't hear my parents, and they'd have to repeat themselves, and they'd get frustrated with me. 4 years ago, I made a commitment to listen to audios every day. I am an excellent auditory learner now, and I listen to 2 to 3 hours of audio training every day when I'm juicing, when I'm rebounding, when I'm walking, and that's all kinesthetic auditory learning. So just make a commitment. If you want to achieve your visions and dreams, you've got to stay teachable, and it's essential you're listening to the right people, and that you're also plugging into a training system every day that's aligned with what you want. Because there's too many shiny objects out there, and we're listening to the wrong people until we get the principle of who do you listen to, audios and books every day, related to what you want.
And also, very important, the foundation of that is going beyond making a habit, integrating your taking in that information or interacting with your coach and mentor weekly, and then engaging daily in your alignment assignments you receive from your mentor is more than a habit. For success, we're required to integrate those actions as in the same level of breathing and eating and drinking and sleeping and living. We have to integrate it into our cells, literally into our DNA, and we've got many models of masters and champions that model that for us. So I really appreciate your insight from inside of the sphere of your own success. So from engaging and committing to collaborating with a source of information or a source of inspiration, a mentor and coach, we move into the 3 steps that we're covering today. And the first step, you've already mentioned, is writing down your goals. So let's dive into that, and if you would describe that process, your process, to our listeners and viewers.
Okay, this is a really important principle. I want everyone who's watching and listening to listen very closely. When we type on the computer, we create 8 neural pathways in the nervous system, which is how we wire ourselves for success. When you write your goals down or write notes, you can build up to 12 to 15,000 neural pathways, programming yourself for deeper, more expanded, more passionate success in life. So in this day and age of smartphones and tablets and computers, use your computer for your calendar. Use your computer for emails. Write down what you want to achieve in your life. Is it financial goals? Is it physical health goals? Is it weight loss goals? Is it relationship goals? It's essential you write these down. Why? Because writing is more powerful than typing to wire yourself for success. And when you write your goals down, they need to be first person, personal, specific, outcome oriented. So for example, one of my goals is I have 10 new affluent coaching clients who pay me $10,000 to $25,000 each and highly value my services and skills in the healing arts. Now I already make around $5,000 a client for a coach, so this is my next goal. And writing your goals down, first person, I have, I enjoy, I am, personal, me, you're in the picture, specific, what is the goal, how much, how and what way, with who, what, how, why, and what way. Outcome-oriented with deep feeling, writing this down is so important. Why? Because we create more neural pathways writing, and then when we speak. And then my great teacher, Bob Proctor, says that when we write a word, it creates an image. The image creates a thought. The thought creates a feeling. And the feeling of that goal written down is what brings it into manifestation. Repetition is the mother of perfection, though. So when you write your goal down, and it's a good goal, the second part is the goal needs to be big enough to get you excited, small enough that you believe you can attain it. So many people, when they're building their businesses, set their goals outside their sweet spot. So when you're writing your goal down, that goal needs to be in your sweet spot. It needs to be big enough to get you excited, small enough that you believe you can attain it. And this is where 95% of people fail. They're writing their goals down, or they're setting goals outside their level of belief. Great success is built on 1,000 steps of little successes. And so when you're writing your goal down, if it's for your coaching practice, if it's for your online business, if it's for what you're choosing to create in your family and your career, you need to make sure that that written down goal is big enough to get you excited, small enough that you believe in your gut, in your feeling world, you believe you can attain that goal. It's in your sweet spot. And then here's the magic. Here's the secret scrolls. There's a little book, little red book called It Works. It's $3 on Amazon. Anyone who's watching, write this book down. It Works. Go on Amazon, buy this book, and read it. Because this is the magic sauce. This is the secret scrolls. You write your goal down. It's in your sweet spot. And you get up in the morning, and in your morning meditation and morning rhythms, you read your goal out loud every day until it manifests. And in the book, it says read it out loud 3 times a day, every day, until it manifests. That is powerful, powerful magical wisdom. Why does this work? Because you may have fear with this goal. You may have doubt. You may have uncertainty. You may be procrastinating. You may be totally distracted and trying to do 3 social media projects at one to build your business.
In fact, you can count on that, because that is the resistance that's built into our neurophysiology. When you stretch beyond the familiar, you're required to build a new neural substrate. That's why repetition is the mother of perfection. Please continue.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful statement. I want to repeat what you said, George. Repetition is the mother of perfection. And we are made of thought, word, and feeling. And fear is healthy. You want to become a friend of your fear as an entrepreneur in a business. And that fear is a conversation between you and what you are becoming. And so repetition, just writing your goals down every day, reading them out loud every day, that begins to help you touch the fears and transform them into faith. So speaking the goal out loud is an affirmative, vibrational, powerful transmission to the universe that you want this. And that as you speak it out loud, every day, you will start whittling away some of the fear and doubt just by speaking it. Now, coaches are helpful. You know, I use EFT, I use aromatherapy, I use visualization, imagination activation. I use the power of the written word and the power of the spoken word. I use all these tools for myself and my clients to heal fear. You don't even have to have these tools. You just need to speak your goal out loud every day. And that goal needs to be in your sweet spot. And as you speak the goal out loud, it begins to come more deeply vibrationally in alignment into your subconscious. Visualize your subconscious like soil in a garden, and the goal is the seed. And the soil is the feminine, the word is the masculine. And as you're speaking the word out loud, you're planting that seed in the soil. And as you're speaking your goal out loud, you're beginning to water that seed every day. And the goal spoken is empowering that seed to germinate and germinate and germinate, and then eventually blossom and manifest in your life.
The important thing here, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's a beautiful practice, and it's simple. Now here's the thing, I want to get this in before you jump in. Mm-hmm. To know and not to do is not to know. To know and not to do is not to know. So for those of you watching, you're probably thinking, hell, that sounds really cool. I think I'll do that. Go do it. Do it every day for 30 days. To know and not to do is not to know. So many people I coach, I give them this little pearl and I say, this is really helpful. Do this. And they do it one day and stop. Or they do it, no. To know and not to do is not to know. This is the magic sauce. Write your goal down, put it in your sweet spot, and say it out loud every day, 3 times a day for 30 days. Because it's faith with works that brings life eternal. Faith without works is death. Mm-hmm. And so when I first heard this stuff 3 or 4 years ago, I really had to humble myself because I was arrogant. I thought I knew everything. Who do you listen to? The guy who was teaching me this stuff had made 60 corporations successful. So I humbled myself and I really got back to the basics, writing things down, reading them out loud every day, reading books every day, listening to audios every day. To know and not to do is not to know. So as you do this, it empowers the knowing, and it's a neurological transformation. In your
That's where I want to jump in, because the languaging that's used in the description of the event and some of the pictures and memes that are on the stream is the art and science of vision building. And what Arttemis is talking about, friends, the science of vision building is the practice of neuroplasticity. And by repetition, by writing down our goals, by covering all 3 of the sensory spheres, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, we are involving the whole brain and the whole nervous system. And by envisioning and revisiting our outcomes, not just our visions, but our outcomes every day, you activate a particular part of the brain called the reticular activating system that innervates from the lowest, most primitive brain to which is called our brain, to the limbic system, and then the neocortex. And those bundles connect those 3 brains. When you move into ideation, visualization, repetition, you're literally creating a dream. And one of the primary functions of the RAS is regulating the dream state. So this is the science of building not just an idea or a feeling or a consciousness, but a nervous system, a brain that supports your massive upgrade in creating and manifesting your vision. And the more we practice this, the more we create a space to be surprised, because when you tap into your imagination, your creation, your ability to vision and live and be in your vision, you open up the space for infinite. You open up the space for providence to show up.
Yes.
One of the quotes that we're really going to drill down into is the quote by William Murray, who was a mountain climber, who a lot of people associate the quote with the poet Goethe, and that is, be bold. Boldness has genius and power in it. Whatever your dream is, begin it now. So that's really what we're talking about, is the science and art and practice of building your vision, not just on paper, but out in the world, in your heart and in your mind. So let's shift gears and move into the second of 3 steps, which is, what is your one thing? Let's talk about that.
Okay, so I love this. Before I share the one thing from Gary Keller, there is a caveat with writing your goals down and reading it out loud every day, is that what it does is it increases the power of your vibration, the duration, and the intensity. And as you will start transmitting really powerfully what you want. And then what the universe does by the law of attraction is it starts giving you a buffet of options.
Mm-hmm.
And if you say yes to the buffet, everything, you want to accomplish that which you desire. So that's where the one thing comes in. So the caveat is if you're really getting passionate and on fire with what you want, and you're building an online business, or you're building a coaching practice, or you're building something that is going to give you your dreams, all this stuff starts to show up in your life, like literally out of the blue. Yes. Like friends, and hey, read this book, hey, take this program, hey, I just heard about this, take this. You start getting all these yes, and then overwhelm sets in. Because that's how the universe works. When you increase your vibration, duration, and intensity of what you want, the universe, because it's infinite and it's abundance, will start giving you a buffet of things that's going to help you achieve what you desire. So what we require as creators is discernment and discrimination.
And focus.
And focus. Discernment, discrimination, and focus. And one of the most powerful books on that ever written is The One Thing by Gary Keller. I just read it, and I listened to it on Audible, and I read it again. And I was listening to it while I was rebounding. So I was super learning this book through reading, through audios, and through rebounding, and also through walking. I was getting this book in my neural pathways. So the successful people are driven by what they say no to, not what they say yes to. This is counterintuitive, because a lot of people think they have to say yes to a lot of things to become successful, and that's actually not true. Really successful people have narrowed their focus, increased the momentum of their activity in focus states, and their no list is 10 times bigger than their yes list. Why? Because they know their one thing and they're focused. They know their one thing, they're powerful transmitters and receivers, they're powerful creators, and they know their one thing. So I encourage everyone to buy this book and get it on Audible and walk and listen to it and read it before bed, or read it when you wake up in the morning, because this is a powerful book for entrepreneurs in overwhelm. And I'm still mastering a lot of things in this book, particularly time blocking has been one of the things I'm mastering now. So the one thing, for example, if you're wanting to drive more traffic to your website, what's the one thing you can do right now that by doing it, everything else is going to be easier or unnecessary to drive traffic to your website? If you're a personal coach, what's the one, and you want more clients, you want more clients, more affluent clients, what's the one thing you can do to build an affluent coaching practice such that by doing it, everything else is going to be easier or unnecessary? So this one thing question is so powerful. Why? Because it gives you discernment and discrimination. So that all these shiny objects out there that the universe is presenting you, if these shiny objects are not related to your one thing, then you get to say no and be free and happy saying no, not overwhelmed and burdened saying yes to too many things. For example, we're launching Blending for Beauty, and we're creating sales pages, sales funnels, autoresponder campaigns, and a tribe on Eating for Beauty. And so my wife and I asked ourselves the one thing question about 6 months ago as we're building the product, and what came up was marketing and copywriting. So what have I been doing as an online entrepreneur? I've been unsubscribing from email lists. I've been putting books on hold. I've been saying no to friends, relationships, family, business opportunities, and saying yes to learning marketing and copywriting. Only marketing and copywriting for the past 6 months.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to audios and reading books and doing everything I can and activities that support me in learning my one thing. And I've literally put the blinders on to everything else. And I'm just deleting emails and unsubscribing and being happy and having fun with my one thing. Because, like, you got to put the blinders on. You got to have focus. And you also get this book so you can know what to focus on with more, even more power and specificity.
This is really important, folks, because I want to jump in and answer the how question again. And that is, how do I know my one thing? How do I stay on point with my one thing? What we've already covered: create and generate a resource of collaboration and partnership with your mentor and coach. The first thing I do with my client partners is they give me a list of their top 5 outcomes. Initially, what happens every time is what they think is their primary is second or tertiary. So, one, you learn how to focus the one thing, your top outcome, and when you pour your energy into that and really build and create results and fruition, it becomes a proxy for 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other answer to how is to seek out resources like the book, The One Thing. There's another resource that's here, and that's Arttemis and I, our coaches. We're available for consultation, certainly. I'm keeping an eye on the time, so we need to shift gears now to number 3, which is, well, you've already feathered into number 3 some, so why don't you complete your thought around learning how to say no to the things that take you away from the most generative practice and process, which is your one thing.
So saying no more than you say yes, you can learn it in 5 minutes. It'll take a lifetime to master. The one thing, the practice of focus and highly productive time blocking and increasing your productivity, you can learn the one thing in about a month. The principles, it'll take you a lifetime to master. So just give yourself permission to get in flow with these concepts. Live your life in flow with writing your goals down. Live your life in flow with reading books and audios and listening to audios every day. Live your life in flow by studying from super uber successful people like Gary Keller, who wrote The One Thing. Be cautious of overwhelm. Learn EFT. Start tapping out adrenal and overwhelm patterns and return to flow. It's really important. Like, I wake up in flow. I time block. I have 2 to 3 hours of focused productivity. I create flow states. I live in flow so that I can move towards my one thing with ease. Now, I want to make a distinction about the one thing goal versus the one thing activities towards achieving your goal. So what you talked about is like the 5 goals, and there's usually one of the outcomes within the 5 outcomes or goals that's more important.
It's your primary.
And then there's your daily activities that's going to help you get there. And so you use the one thing primarily to determine your daily activities and how to focus your daily activities and create a really powerful trajectory and direction to achieve your goal. And so that's the distinction, is that a lot of us really don't know what we want. That's why coaches are important. So we want to, like, what is your goal? Is it specific enough? Now, is it in your sweet spot? And then once you know what you want, a successful online business, I want to be a coach, I want to be an author, speaker, I want to speak from stage, I want to have, my dream home and family. You got to get really specific, and then you start to ask yourself about that goal. What is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier and necessary? And then you keep reading the book and listening to the audio. Like, I'm going to read this again and listen to it again so I can grok it at another level. So as you define your daily activities, like for me it was marketing and copywriting, that means I made some commitments to listen to an hour or 2 of audios on marketing and copywriting every day. And then practice marketing and copywriting in my business. I have 2 businesses, online information products, and I also educate and inspire women and families to achieve dynamic health through essential oils and nutrition. And they're both the same business. One just manifests as blending online and it's already a product done, and the other is where I'm teaching live and coaching and public speaking. And I practice my copywriting and marketing when I'm posting, when I'm doing videos, when I'm filming content, when I'm doing live events. I'm learning copywriting and practicing it. Every day I'm either reading and listening, or I'm posting, or I'm teaching, and it's all copy and marketing right now. That's like what I really get to master. That's my one thing. And so I have these daily and weekly activities that are related to this. Now, discernment and discrimination take time to learn because you will get distracted. You will procrastinate, and you will find a shiny object that appears like a good thing to focus your attention upon. Be careful what you say yes to. Be careful who you listen to. So Eben Pagan's launching Wake Up Productive, one of the best trainings in the world of how to increase productivity. It complements really well the one thing. So be careful what you say yes to, and that when you wake up in the morning, going back to the 3 steps, write your goals down, read it out loud every morning. That way you can come into vibrational alignment with what you want as a goal. And then meditate. Enter the great silence and let your life reorder itself by your vibration. And then start doing the activities in the morning and throughout your day that help you achieve your goal. So the way we increase discernment and discrimination of saying no and saying yes is getting clearer and clearer in our vibration. Where every morning we're waking up, hydrating, I drink juice and blue green algae, I get present, I read my goals out loud, and I just sit in silence. And I'm literally fully present and in alignment. And as my vibration's getting clearer and clearer each week, now what I'm saying yes to becomes easier to see, and what I say no to becomes easier to see. How you start your day is how you will end your day. So your flow states in the morning, how you start your mornings with your goal, with what you want, reading it out loud. This is all auto-suggestion, Napoleon Hill 101. It's like getting up in the morning.
Well, what's known as pre-framing.
Yeah, reframing. A lot of different vocabulary for this, and it's what I'm choosing to teach right now is get into alignment and get clear vibrationally every morning. Start your morning in flow with clarity, with vibrational clarity. And then what your discernment will grow. Your discrimination will grow. Now, here's the thing. The average person gets 2,100 advertising impressions every day, sometimes a few hundred before they leave the house. Turn the TV off. Don't look at your smartphone. Don't check emails. Wake up in the morning. Get into vibrational alignment with that which you are and that which you desire in silence. The vibrational clarity and focus and transmission will bring clarity and discernment to the rest of your day. Because a lot of us are too distracted in the mornings. And so how we start our day, every day, determines the flow activities and flow states we achieve throughout the day. So start your day in flow with your goal, and then maybe read a book for 20 minutes. You know, after you've done some goal setting and some meditation, read for 20 minutes. It's the best time to read. Dan Kennedy says if you want to become a good copywriter, read a book on marketing and copywriting every morning and every evening for 30 minutes. You know, I listen to 2 to 3 hours of audio every day, and it's just part of my learning and teachability.
Arttemis, let me jump in here. We're coming down to the last few minutes of our show. If you would, please share with our listeners and the people who will be joining us in the replay, if you would share in our comments how people can get in touch with you, if you have an email address you want to share, or your website. And tell us now, if you would, how people can get in touch with you.
Awesome. I'm available on Google+, plus.google.com. Just type in Arttemis, Arttemis, Keszainn, Keszainn. Just private message me on Google+. You can also just email me at Arttemis, Arttemis, at newearthcenter.com. That's newearthcenter.com. What I'm sharing with you today is outside the context of what I teach publicly. This is the first time I've ever taught this material and shared it with anyone, because this is how I live my life in the interior. So what I'm sharing with you is a lot of like just very intimate, close personal things
It's the inside scoops.
Yeah,
It's the
it's
inside scoop,
stuff.
friends.
Yeah,
So if you would, Arttemis, go ahead and put your email, if you're comfortable, in the comment stream. And are you available for a few minutes after the show for a green room?
Yes, and if you or Andy will put my email in the comment stream, I don't have it in front of me right now, so.
I'll get that done.
Yeah, if you'll just, arttemis@newearthcenter.com. If you'll do
awesome.
that.
All right. Thank you, Arttemis, for bringing your heart and your strength and your fire and your inspiration to our show today. Thank you to Andy for being our rock-solid foundation and producer. We're going to go ahead and throw the green room link in just right after we complete our broadcast. And before we complete, it's time for our final segment, Your Moments of Mindfulness. Friends, your own vision, your future, your greatest outcomes all come to being and to fruition right here in the now, when your actions and mindset give them life and breath and love today. The art and science of building your own vision first and foremost is living in your vision fulfilled. What's your plan and strategy for 2015? Where's your heart and where's your enthusiasm and fire right now? It's all too common and easy to allow the many daily distractions and responsibilities we all have to diminish our commitment to building our visions and creating our legacy, to leaving our mark of excellence upon the ledgers of our lives. Today, we've established the extraordinary generative value of partnering with a mentor and coach, empowering us to keep our eyes on the prize while remaining inspired and accountable. Your creative, imaginative power of writing down, mapping, and refining your visions while maintaining sustained singular focus upon your desired outcomes is now plainly clear and evident. The final and most important step into your extraordinary fulfillment is to define and do the work daily, to do your work that builds your vision and momentum step by step, brick by brick, each and every day. In this way, your dreams evolve and take shape as your visions. Your visions then emerge and evolve into your extraordinary results. To be sure to join us next Thursday for our third and most inspiring and final Jumpstart Your January episode, Do the Work. We're going to put Artemis's email up in just a second, and also you're invited to contact Arttemis and I. And Arttemis, I have to think that you have some sort of consultation or intro. I do as well. I'll put a link up there for people to grab for both of us. Use us as a resource. Use this program as a resource. Simply, friends, do the work. Thanks a lot, friends, for being an important partner and part in our conversations today. I'm your host, George E. Green, and this is the Lucid Living Show. We'll see you next week.